Good morning, students. Today we are going to start Unit 7th of Business Studies, and that is Directing. In the Directing unit, we will learn several aspects of the managements like the motivation, communication, leadership, etc. And first of all, we must know what is the meaning of directing. The word directing is an extension of direction, means someone who gives you a direction. Like in a traffic signal, the signal gives us the direction to move on. So similarly here, in general life and in management, both have the same feature of directing, but here we are going to discuss about the organizational aspect of directing. And it is not compulsory that only the directors are having the powers of directing. It may be a supervisor who instruct his subordinates to work on a particular project or in a particular way. So anyone who has subordinate and has some authority, he can direct the subordinates to take action on behalf of organizational interest. So let's see the basic features of directing. It is instructing someone, means whenever you are writing the concept of directing, you have to include these 5 points. So it is a method of instructing, guiding, or sometime it is counseling. If employees are unsatisfied or they are moving on for a strike, then it is counseling also, or their motivation level is down, then for that we have motivation techniques and leadership techniques. So these are the tools through which we exercise the directing process. Then move on to the importance section. Because directing is sometime convincing also, those who are our subordinates, we can convince them to move on for a particular task or anything new which we want to introduce in our organization and they are against it, then also it is very helpful tool. So basically I think it is overall the leadership of the authority level which decide that how much proficient they are in directing. So the importance first point is it initiates action. How it initiate action? Suppose take example of your home. Your parent asks you to perform a particular task. Then only some drive will emerge inside your body and you will move on to that particular task. So that instruction give up you a boost to start the work. That's why it is called it initiate action. In your school you have experienced that whenever any subject teacher, class teacher or principal asks you to perform certain tasks, then you start working upon it. Similarly, in an organization also, If a superior order his subordinate to perform the task, then only he will do that particular task. It means after directing, then the action is started within that person who has been directed. So generally we can say it initiates action for achieving organizational objectives. Second point, it integrates employees' efforts. As we all know that there are various departments in the organization, and the employees are from various background, various religions, various different genders and different community, and they are doing their hard work. But sometime it may happen that they are pursuing their individual objective. As we know that the objectives are of three types. First one is personal objective, second is social, third one is organization. So actually in our organization, the first priority we have to give to the organizational objective. It is our main objective. If organization is there, if profits are coming properly, then only we will survive. We will not be able to pursue our personal goals or social goals. So first of all, we must have to keep in mind that every time, whenever it has been asked from you that which objective is main for us, that is organizational objective. So how it integrate, how directing integrate employees' effort? It helps employees to contribute to organizational objective only. They must have to focus on organizational objective. Next point is it lead and motivate employees. As we have seen that leading and motivating, these two aspects are the main feature of directing. Individually motivating means who is motivated or self-motivated. Motivation is also various type. So here we are motivating employees to perform the task, and why they are demotivated, it is also a reason. The employee may be demotivated due to heavy workload or due to low salary or due to poor working condition. So first of all we have to counsel him or her that what is the basic problem, why he is demotivated. If we know the reason, then only we can provide the remedy. So we motivate them by knowing their problems. We lead them to perform better, to realize their full potential and capabilities, whatever they have. Sometimes employees don't know that what are their capabilities. So we have to realize them that these are your capabilities, you can do better. Then next point is introduction of changes, or we can say needed changes. In any organization or anywhere in the society, whenever we introduce any change, the general perception of public is to resist the change. Why they want to resist? Because they are accommodated in that particular situation. They are adjusted there. They don't want any changes. But changes are very important for our life, for survival. So whenever in any organization we bring some new rule or new way of working, generally employees resist the changes. and now it is the responsibility of those who are having the capacity of directing to introduce changes by effective directing. And the last point is stability and balance. What is stability? Stability can be in the sense of organization is the stability of employees, means there must not be any labor or workers turnover. If they are stable at their job, then only they will perform better. As we have seen in the principle of fuel, stability of personnel is also a principle. And whatever principles we have studied in second unit, they will come again and again in all management units, because these all units are extension of unit 2. So there must be a stability among the employees, and how we will ensure this stability? Management has to see that there must not be any hire and fire policy. If the worker is performing better, we'll have to retain them for a long time of period, giving him or giving them the better salaries. And there must be a balance by cooperation and commitment. If they cooperate properly, there is a commitment on both sides. Commitment is not on one part but on both parts, means employees and management also. So then also we can able to achieve our organizational objective. Thank you, students.